Over the recent years, dermal fillers have changed the face of an entire generation. From teenagers to women in their 40s are getting their faces injected, with the youngest known candidate being an 8-year-old child, allegedly. Teenagers are swarming to aesthetic clinics and begging their parents to let them get the procedure done. Parents in South Korea are going as far as gifting their children plastic surgery as their turning 18 gift. It is a drug prepared from botulin, used medically to treat certain muscular conditions and cosmetically to remove wrinkles by temporarily paralyzing facial muscles. Fillers, on the other hand, will simply fill in the wrinkles. They can be of many kinds, depending on the ingredient you choose. The International Society of Aesthetic Plastic Surgery counted over 9 million Botox procedures done in 2022 alone. That figure was 26% higher than the 7 million Botox procedures done worldwide in 2021. The study shows that 85% of 2022's 9 million Botox procedures were done on women. Almost 8 million women picked Botox injections last year, while only 1.3 million went to men. Of all patients getting any cosmetic procedure in 2022, 85% were again women. I wonder why. Probably has to do something with unfair and unrealistic beauty standards targeted towards women. In the mid-2010s, when celebrity culture was at its newest high and the flag bearers of cosmetic procedures, the Kardashians, reigned supreme, the youngest of the clan, Kylie Jenner, got lip fillers at the tender age of 17. She feverishly denied and defended her claims of it being only 7 different shades of lipstick, finally openly admitted to getting them done. And so, the social avalanche that was the Kylie Jenner Lip Challenge emerged. In order to emulate the lush lips, teens used items like shot glasses to suck the air out of the glass to create a vacuum. The result was unnatural swollen lips, and many ended up in the ER due to severe bruising, swelling, discoloration, long-term nerve damage, and damage to the collagen tissue. However, it didn't stop there. Homemade hacks and makeup only worked for so long. People now wanted a permanent solution for getting big lips. That's when fillers popped up in the mainstream media and became a household name. Everybody, from teenagers to fully grown men and women, knew what it was and were out in search of it. Influencers promoting aesthetic clinics to their young audiences were on the rise. Getting fillers became like just another visit to the grocery store. Fillers were also endorsed as a great alternative to plastic surgery. This played a huge role in making it seem not only achievable, but better. Normally, a plastic surgery procedure would take hours to be performed. The recovery time would also take weeks to months, depending on the procedure. Not to mention how expensive plastic surgery can get. A person getting filler could get it done, go to work the next day, and continue their usual activities without hassle, with minimum to no downtime. This became a huge selling point for dermal fillers. This made it very appealing to the consumers in the modern and busy day and age. Fillers being cheaper than plastic surgery, however, is not entirely true. Let's say you were to pay around $15,000 for a facelift, for a surgical facelift, where the results are permanent. Getting fillers requires you to upkeep the routine and get injected around every 6 months. Hyaluronic acid fillers cost around $900 per syringe. Getting injected every 6 months for 10 years would amount to $18,000. This might be a good option for folks who do not have that much money to give right away, but with filler migrating, faces being botched and overfilled over time, is it really worth it? Women and men opted for corrective procedures on their nose, chins, lips, you name it. People seek the perfect symmetrical look, free of lines and quote-unquote flaws. You weren't considered beautiful if your cheeks weren't visibly filled and your lips weren't bee-sting swollen, and if your face didn't have big proportions to go with your BBL body at the time. Everything was merry in Fillertopia. Lots of people felt good about themselves until it got out of hand. People adopted these trends until very soon the trends adopted people. 2019, filler culture was at an all-time high. Big lips and cheeks, sharp and prominent chins, non-surgical nose jobs everywhere. Any trace of even the slightest line on your face was to be obliterated into oblivion, and stepping out with under-eye hollows was a no-go. People came out of the woodworks calling out fillers for how they impacted their lives and self-esteem. Courtney Cox from Friends is a great example of this.
Domino effect. It's like you don't realize that you look a little off, so then you keep doing more because you look normal to yourself, and you look in the mirror and go, oh, that looks good. You think, and you don't realize what it looks like to the outside person, and just doing too many fillers and then having to have them removed, which thank God they are removable.
Doctors have now found that filler can stay in your face for more than 20 years. It can leave behind residue and migrate to other parts of the face, which causes a buildup that might permanently alter the appearance of your face to an undesirable aesthetic and might need surgical intervention to be removed. Given that almost every clinic recommends their patients to get their filler work touched up every 4 to 6 months, when in fact fillers stayed in their face for way longer, creating a very disproportionate and undesirable look. Many people went as far as going to the black market to purchase filler from shady sources containing suspicious ingredients, going to an unregistered and unlicensed individual who offered them dirt cheap services, putting themselves at risk of contracting diseases and adverse effects like turning blind.
Vascular occlusion. That's when the filler is accidentally injected into a blood vessel. That is one of the most feared complications of filler injection. Our body parts need blood for them to survive. And if you block the blood flow to a body part, it starts to become ischemic, meaning it becomes damaged. If that blood flow does not get reinstated, that ischemia can then progress to something we call necrosis, and that is tissue death.
In the midst of all of this, a slight shift was noticed. Though small, the growing movements like clean beauty and quiet luxury were rising. After COVID hit, society saw a shift from overdone and gaudy looks to a more natural and somewhat sustainable way of seeing beauty, which has its own drawbacks nonetheless, but was different and set itself apart from the high-maintenance and unnatural idea of beauty. People now started to notice the unsettling changes prolonged use of filler made to their face. There is absolutely nothing wrong with getting fillers or any cosmetic procedures for that matter. What someone wants to do with their face is an individual's choice. But what if the procedures start doing the exact opposite of what it was intended for? What if it makes you look years older and disproportionate? When does one draw the line, and how much can be too much? The lip filler mustache. When lip filler migrates to the top parts of your philtrum, making you look like you've got a bad allergic reaction, it causes a bump between the nose and the lips, causing it to look extremely unnatural and gets worse with every appointment. The Botox sniff. When your face has so much Botox in it that your nostrils start compensating for the lack of movement in the rest of your face by flaring up. This results in a look where the person looks like they've smelled something perpetually foul. Lopsided lips. In some cases, previous lip surgeries or non-surgical cosmetic procedures such as lip filler treatments may lead to unintended consequences that result in lip ptosis. It gives the individual the opposite of a symmetrical look. Pillow face. When you have so much filler in your face that it starts expanding in area, resembling a pillow instead of a normally structured human face. Though it can be dissolved, the skin over time stretches to accommodate the new volume, and when it's taken out of your skin, it can appear flabbier than before. The uncanny valley. Overdosing on fillers can cause an uncanny, disproportionate look. Definition of uncanny valley, used in reference to the phenomenon whereby a computer-generated figure or a humanoid robot bearing a near-identical resemblance to a human being arouses a sense of unease or revulsion in the person viewing it. While taken in isolation, any one change may be successful. Taken in the context of whole, it may create subtle incongruities and conflicting visual cues that lead to an uncanny valley appearance.
And it only takes the tiniest, smallest amounts of filler to make a really nice change to someone's overall face and their appeal. My most common volume for treatment is actually only 1 ml of filler, and I place this 1 ml very strategically in different spots in the face.
But what about fine lines and wrinkles are so unacceptable that a person would rather look like this than this? Having remotely any sign of aging is stigmatized in society, and going to any extent for looking young is normalized. There's aging gracefully, and then there is aging disgracefully. If somebody notices even a minor deviation on their face or an asymmetrical feature, all hell breaks loose. TikTok filters are really not helping either. Cosmetic procedures should be viewed and used as a minor addition to your maintenance upkeep, and not something you become completely dependent upon. You start morphing into something you're not and never have been. With that being said, there is nothing wrong with not opting for any at all, and understanding that a person can be beautiful at any age. Wrinkles can add character and look wise. A hooked nose can appear strong and regal. Thin lips are dainty and delicate. So are flat cheekbones and soft jaws. Your eyebrows do not need to touch your temples. Your double chin is perfectly normal. Skinny faces are pretty and fuller faces are beautiful. Looking young is cool. Looking and being old is a privilege. What's not beautiful is morphing into a beauty standard that is not you. Who are you?